First of all, Adam, thank you for joining us. Second of all, there's a million things that the Broncos did wrong leading up to that final sequence of the field goal. But what's just your thought on that leverage call on the 60-yarder that was missed?
I mean, it is the rule. I don't love it, but it is the rule. So I guess the officials got it right. It's just unfortunate that the Colts are trying a 60-yard field goal to win the game, don't make it, and the Broncos get called for a 15-yard leverage. I never heard of it before, to be honest. I mean, I guess I've seen it. I've just never heard of it referred to as leveraging before. And, look, that was one mistake. They made any number of them when the game was on the line. There were so many things that they shouldn't have done that they did do that contributed to the loss. It was, Sean said it after the game. Sean Payton did. He said that they're going to get sick watching that game film over.
Yeah.
That is going to be one that's going to be tough to take. And I think it will be, unquestionably. They're going to go over plays in that game that were just brutal, that just amazing that it just was unfortunate that they lost the game.
Adam, I got a text after the game from a former NFL executive who expressed the same thing, very tic-tac in his words, the call itself. What kind of reaction are you getting from some of the coaches, players you work with there? Have they discussed it?
It's a tic-tac call, but it is the call. It is the rule. Like that. I mean, that's the way it is. And officials, I'm like, what's the call here? That's the call. Like, that's the call that's going to decide team in the end. We're going to give, okay. But by the way, I got to tell you something. You could just feel it all.
You could
coming.
see it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Before it even happened, it felt like one of those games that I don't know how this is going to happen, but something's going to blow up on them. It's not going to go their way. They're not going to pull through here. That's what I felt like from the moment that J. Dobbins burst through the line and got the penalty for delay game and then a holding penalty. And we can look back on the intercept, like any number of plays, right? Like they were doing their best to give away the game. And they finally succeeded.
Yeah, I mean, from the missed field goal to the pick to the personal fouls to all this stuff, you could feel it building. But Vic raised a very good point, Adam, earlier in the program. He said, if it's me, I know the kid is a good kicker, but he's never kicked more than 54 yards in his entire college or pro career. He goes, why even touch the guy? Why even think about doing anything in the middle of the line?
Why try to coach it up? Just
why
sit there.
do anything? Vic said, I would have been sitting there smoking a dart with a martini in my hand going, hey, kid, go ahead, kick it. You know what I mean? It's like, of all the catastrophes leading up to that point, he still missed the damn 60-yarder, yet you let him off the hook. I mean, so many dang things.
But they let him off the hook at every turn. That's my point. It was just one more play that they needed to make, and they kept giving that team another opportunity and another opportunity and another opportunity. And at some point, when you see all these opportunities given away, you know that it's going to come back. And I'm watching. I go, I know. Okay, how are they going to lose this game? Because they're going to lose this game. That's how I felt.
Yeah. Broncos defense, by the way, a lot of hype going into this season about what they could be, and they got lit up a little bit by that Colts offense. My question to you is, I could be the Colts punter so far, couldn't I? I could have signed and done the same thing.
It's amazing that the punter hasn't punted once all year. They're the first team, who would have thought this, they're the first team in the Super Bowl era not to punt in their first two games. Like the Indianapolis Colts with Daniel Jones, who beat out Anthony Richardson for the starting job. Now, again, there are a lot of people that wondered if the Colts and Shane Steichen, their head coach, were making the right move. Can you imagine if they had gone with Anthony Richardson to start? There's no way they'd be doing this. No way.
Crazy. The big. Oh, go ahead, Vic.
I said the same thing about the Broncos. As you make the case, this team learned how to win enough to get to the playoffs. The one thing they have to overcome now, Adam, and you tell me if you see the same thing, they have to learn how to close games. Closing games, executing at the end of games, not making mistakes at the end of games. We saw the same thing happen against Kansas City, in Cincinnati. There's examples, right? Is that on the quarterback? Because I think the quarterback sort of levels the playing field and gives you a sense of security. Is that a quarterback thing? Is it a coaching thing? What do you think it emanates?
Well, I think the quarterback absolutely contributes to all of it and is a focal point of it. I don't think it's all of it in any way, Vic. I think that there's so much that goes in. It's a culture. It's a mindset. It's an atmosphere. It's a vibe. It's the quarter. It's everything. There are a lot of. It's the head coach. There's a lot of things that go into that. And once you start winning regularly, it does tend to feed off itself. You believe you're going to do it. When you don't, the same is true. It feeds off itself, and you don't believe you're going to do it. It's just that's one of those losses that when we get to December and we're talking about this team and they're fighting, we're going to say, "Can you believe they gave that game away in Indy? Yep. Like they're going to want that game back."
Adam, please give me your perspective on this. And I said the worst thing to happen is that the Chiefs are 0-2 because I can't not see them being a playoff team, period, okay? And then we'll see about the Chargers and so on. But, man, every single game in the AFC, especially this division, is so damn valuable. And you've seen this a million times. If you can't expand on just this one loss, if it comes down to you and the damn Colts for a playoff spot – this loss really hurts, even though it's week 2. I hate it. It just drives me crazy.
The game was there. And, there's something to starting a season 2-0. You feel like you got the wind at your back. You feel like you're playing with a lead. You feel like you got more margin for error. And now you're in this morass of teams. And it's one game. And it's 2 games on the season. And they're 1-1. And all is okay. But it's just a squandered opportunity. That's what it is. That they're going to lament this week, today, this week. And again, as we're talking, I'm predicting that when we're on doing this show on, let's see, I'll give you a Monday in December. Okay. When we're doing the show, you can play this back. When we're doing the show on Monday, December 22nd, Monday, unless you guys are off for Christmas that week, maybe you are. But when we're doing the show on Monday,
we don't get days off. Yeah.
Yeah, Monday from the 22nd. We're going to say on that day, remember that loss in Indy? Remember how close they came to pulling it out?
Yeah.
Think about how valuable that win would have been and how much they need it now. For whatever reason, whether that's for a division title, a wild card race, a home playoff game, trying to get into the play, whatever it is, they're going to want that game back.
All I'm going to remember in December is thinking back to this show, watching you over your left shoulder, a loose ceiling fan, as if you
I was going to say ESPN's falling apart. What the hell's going on here?
Wow, I just noticed that too. I didn't even notice it.
Don't get taken out.
I don't think it was there when you sat down. I think somebody's spying through the ceiling, like the old ESPN commercials.
Adam Schefter with us.
Spy game.
Adam Schefter, all conversations with him are brought to you by Colorado Credit Union. Love where you live, love where you bank at Colorado Credit Union. Join today at ccu.org. So the big news today, Adam, is that Burrow, for all intents and purposes, is going to miss the rest of the year with this turf toe thing. And I got 2 questions on this. Is there any chance that they can keep their hopes alive? Because, look, their backup's not terrible. He came in and he's filled in admirably. He's done it in the past. Right. But the second part of the question I have is, Trey Hendrickson signs basically a 1-year deal just to stay here, get a raise, and be happy. They don't have the future beyond that. If things start to go south here in the next couple of weeks, does he all of a sudden become a trade candidate?
Well, to answer the first part of it, I think that Jake Browning's the guy. I think he'll be able to keep them afloat. They're 2-0. They have that win that we're talking about at their backs. They have that margin of error in the 1-loss record. The problem is they're missing the quarterback. And if we go back and look at the numbers, and I have them on my phone here, Joe Burrow, when he's been the starting quarterback for the Bengals, they've been 40, 30, and 1 and averaged 25.3 points per game, 25.3 in 71 games. Without Joe Burrow in 14 games, they are 6-8. And they are averaging 19.9. So they are averaging 5.4 fewer points per game. So almost a touchdown a game less.
Yeah.
Without Joe Burrow. So now you're asking a team that will average basically a touchdown less per game to play better defense when the defense isn't its calling card. And so do I think that the Bengals in the next 12 weeks can go 6-6? Yeah. Could that make them 8-6 and give Joe a chance to come? Yeah. But it's not going to be easy. And again, if we just go by what's been occurring in the past, 6-8 without him, and I would think that it'd be something similar, like 500 kind of team
sure.
in a tough division. Baltimore, Pittsburgh, Cleveland. So we'll see.
Yesterday, you reported Adam Schefter.
The second part, trading Trey Hendrickson, they'd have to lose their next 4, 5, 6 games to I think deal away. It's a fair and interesting point. I don't think they're going to be bad enough to get there with the 2-0 start, but let's see how it plays out.
You reported yesterday, Adam, that the Baltimore Ravens were prepared to draft Shedeur Sanders in the 5th round, but that he alerted them not to because he did not want to back up Lamar Jackson, which begs the question to me, if he did that, and we've seen quarterbacks reach out to teams before, maybe not in the 5th round, but we've seen that before. Did he do that with the understanding that perhaps Cleveland promised him a shot at starting? Was there more to that story than just, no, I don't want to play for Baltimore?
No, I mean, I don't know the answer to the question, Vic. My belief, based on what I had, would be that he basically didn't want to go to a place that had an elite quarterback who's been an NFL MVP, who's a star in the National Football League. He didn't want to go to a situation like that. And he opted, when he did that, to take the unknown behind door number 2 rather than the known quantity in Baltimore behind door number 1. So no, I don't want to be in Baltimore with Lamar. Like, Lamar is entrenched. He's a superstar. Mm-hmm. That's not what I'm looking for right now. I don't know where I'm going to wind up, but I will bet that I'll have more of an opportunity to play wherever I'm drafted than in Baltimore. And I think that's basically what went into that.
Well, people are saying automatically, you report the story, and people are saying, oh, that story's made up. And my retort is, what do you mean made up? Yeah, like what incentive would Baltimore have? What do you mean made up? It's a fact.
Who made it up? Me? Well, the Ravens?
That the Ravens are out to get Shedeur or something. I don't understand that doesn't make any sense to me.
Vic, there is nothing about it that's me. They had him on the phone, okay? Yeah. They were prepared to pick him. The message came back, please don't. Okay, they moved on. That is 100% fact, okay? Made up. Like, I don't even respond to that.
Last thing for me, Brett was entirely correct. He had the Falcons going on the road and winning at Mini. I think the Falcons are good, Adam. I love their defense, man. They've got some rookies who are balling out. I know it's a tiny sample size, but that's one team that I think is better than people realize. I'm putting the Falcons in a postseason bid like they're right there. Is there any other team that you look at right now that maybe people are going, but you think is going to be a good team this year, that from what you've seen the first couple of weeks?
Colts look like a tough team to me. They look like a tough, resilient team. They played with the Broncos yesterday. The Broncos should have won the game probably, but Indianapolis is now 2 games in, 2-0. I guess 2 home games, I think. So, let's see what happens over the course of a season. But anybody that's 2-0 right now, again, you got enough of a cushion. There's 15 games. If you go 7-8, you're 2-0. You're 9-8.
Yeah.
Right. So you go under 500 and still be above 500 for the year with the 2-0 start.
2 questions for you real quick, Adam. Number 1, we've seen this happen before. When it happens to a superstar, a really good team, sometimes rules change. Like horse collar, when that happens to, I think it was T.O. is when that rule kind of got changed out when he broke his leg. Tush push. Really interesting that people seem to be upset about that one again when it comes in a game against the Eagles and the Chiefs. Do you think in the offseason they take a look at that again and maybe the votes go differently?
They were always going to look at it again in the offseason, and they didn't have the votes that they needed last offseason to overturn it and ban it from the game. They'll make another run at it again. I think there are enough people that want it out of the game. I don't know that it'll live to see another year. Certainly possible. But we're at the point now where opposing defenses can't stop the play. Officials don't know how to call the play. Nobody knows what to do with the play except the Philadelphia Eagles. Mm-hmm. And it's almost automatic when they run it. Like, they're getting that 1 or 2 yards every single time. And it's amazing that nobody else in the league can do it with the success that they have had. But the plays confounded everybody but the Eagles. Everybody.
Yep. And then finally, Adam, before I let you go, I saw something over the weekend that I don't think I've ever seen before. I've never seen an offensive lineman like James Hudson in New York get called for 4 straight penalties, 4 consecutive ones, and then get pulled from the game and yell at his coach for getting pulled after 4 straight penalties. What'd you think?
I've never seen it either. And again, I'll come back and I'll tie it all together. Between Denver and Pittsburgh and the Giants and almost Arizona, I can't believe how some of these teams are just giving away games. Like, the mistakes they make. I mean, it's just amazing. I remember, Bill Belichick one time said that 75% of the teams in the league beat themselves. That they find a way to lose. And I think that's really true, where it's not even that you win the game, it's that you don't lose the game. And these teams yesterday that I was watching, like Denver lost that game. Yeah. The Steelers with Caleb Johnson in the end zone, the kickoff that he touched that the Seahawks, they lost that. Okay. The Giants with penalties and a late interception lost that game. Although they did come back and win the game. They won and lost. So I'm not going to go all out on them, but the Arizona Cardinals were 27-3 in the third quarter against the Carolina Panthers and did everything they could to lose the game, but it built a big enough lead that they didn't. It's just amazing to me, these teams that just find ways to lose.
Yeah.
Like, and I actually think it's almost as important now not to find a way to win, but to find a way not to lose.
I guess if you watch the game long enough, Adam, you'll see something you've never seen before. On the Giants' first possession yesterday, they had like 130 yards of offense on their first possession. I mean, think about that.
Yeah.
They came away with 3 points, but how do you, you drove down the length of the field and then more, and then you came away with 3. I've never seen that before in my entire life. And this kid, all I could think about was the time that Shannon Sharp rattled the cage of the late great Derek Thomas. Remember? He lost his mind in that game. This kid is punching people in the head, and he's holding, and he's going. I mean, he just went insane.
Do you know the backstory behind that Shannon play?
Oh yeah. We'll talk about that sometime. Oh yeah.
Go ahead, Vic.
You know who else is 2-0? By the way, you mentioned losing and winning games. My fantasy team is 2-0, Adam, thanks to your crafty technique and your numbers that you texted me just moments before my draft. They've worked wonders. I am just gouging people.
Collusion.
So thank you, Adam.
Collusion.
Vic, but hold on. How are you enjoying fantasy football, Vic?
You know what? This is what happened, though. I knew this was going to happen. I said I would just ignore it. It's nerdy. I ain't doing it. I'm looking at my phone every 5 minutes to see what my score is and how my team is doing. I just can't help it. And I just, man, what I did, I disemboweled Mark Springer over the weekend, boys. I just absolutely utilized. And I want to thank you, Adam Schefter, for giving me the proper tips to draft a squad that is worthy of that.
You know what? It's so funny. Like, people get into fantasy football, and it is highly addictive. All of a sudden, yesterday, I'm gonna read you the exchange, okay? Because it's good enough that that I think. Oh, okay. So, all of a sudden, yesterday afternoon, about 2:15, my daughter texts me. My daughter, is Jameson Williams out? I'm getting nothing. Hey, so I texted her back.
That's awesome.
I said, Amon Ross caught everything. Rex Ryan has Jameson too, and he's mad also. So she goes, "Oh my God, this is so annoying." And then I just text her. I go, "Oh, there's a big play for Jameson. Oh, there's a touchdown for Jameson." And she text me back 4-3. Goff is on my bench. A four-letter curse word. JJ's my starter. Ugh, annoying, whatever.
That's a nice text. I got a text from my daughter that says, "I bought shots for all the girls. Please send more money." That's about the extent of my exchange.
Adam, you're the best. Always appreciate the time. We'll talk next week.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Have a good Monday.